Hey friends, thanks for stopping by. If you're new, welcome. I'm Laurie. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me and check out my latest video. Today we're making a farmhouse home hanging shelf. If you're not into the black and white, you can always change it up to match your home decor colors. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would so love to have you as a member of my YouTube family. So don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below and click on the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new video.
We're starting this project with 2 packages of the wooden rulers, one 9x12 frame, and an 8x10 mirror. I'm using a 3/8 inch heavyweight ribbon, and I'm just using some leftover ribbon just to make 2 bows. You can use anything you have on hand. A wooden rolling pin, a wooden 3x7 home cutout. I'm also using my Waverly white and ink chalk paint. We're going to begin by removing the measurement stickers from all of the rulers. We're going to use these rulers to be the base of our shelf. We're going to place 2 rulers together, making sure that they are both matched on the flat sides. We're going to slide the pair of rulers underneath the 9x12 frame, making sure that the 2 little holes are showing. Then using a ruler, you're going to find the exact measurements so that we can mark them to glue them together. I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch between the frame and the little hole. And once I have my measurement, I'm just going to use a pencil to mark it on the ruler. I'm going to use the first set of rulers that I measured as my guide, then match the second set of rulers up to it so that I have 2 perfectly matching sets. Once that's complete, I'm using my E6000 to glue the rulers together. I'm going to place a generous amount of the E6000 on the flat side of the ruler, using the pencil mark so I know exactly where to line them up. After I glue the first set, I'm then going to glue the second set. So now the 4 rulers have become 2 rulers. And once they are complete, I actually set them aside for 24 hours so that they would dry. And once they're completely dry, we're then going to paint them with our black chalk paint. And while you have your black paint out, we're then going to paint the wooden home sign on both sides. And now we're going to disassemble the 9x12 frame. This frame is from the Dollar Tree, and there are just little tabs on the back that you flip up, so it came apart pretty easily. Once we have it apart, we're going to remove the little metal hanger tags. I used my scissors to help remove the tape that was holding them, and then they easily popped out. I just used my finger to kind of rub down the little indentation left from the hanger. I then painted over the black side of the cardboard with my paint. And then I touched up the 2 spots on the other side where the hangers were attached. We're now going to use the paper insert. I turned it over so that it's on the blank side. And then this isn't going to show very much, but we're just going to kind of randomly paint all around the edges, and it doesn't have to be neat or perfect. Then when the 2 pieces have dried, we're going to put them back together, making sure that the insert has the painted side up. It doesn't look too pretty, but not to worry because we're actually going to hide it. To clean up the appearance of the bottom of the frame, we're going to use some of our ribbon. We're just going to cut it to fit each side, then gluing it over where the frame and the cardboard meet to give it a nice finished look. When the project is complete, we're only going to see 2 sides with the ribbon, but putting the ribbon on all four sides keeps everything level and balanced. And now we're going to disassemble the mirror. Using our white chalk paint, we're now going to paint the frame of the mirror. And once it's dried, we're going to put it back together. And now we're going to paint our rolling pin completely white, both sides, bottom, and top. And once it's completely dry, now it's time to attach the home sign. The rolling pin measures 12 inches, so finding the center point at the 6-inch mark, I then centered the word home. Once again, using my E6000, I placed a generous amount on the back and then placed the home sign on the center of the rolling pin. We're now going to make our shelf by gluing the mirror onto the frame. Once again, using that magical E6000, we're going to place a bead of glue along the edges of the mirror frame. And once that's complete, we're going to place it on top of the black frame. I didn't measure anything, I just kind of used my best judgment and placed it on the center of the black frame. And once I had it in place, I just kind of checked it out to make sure that it was perfectly centered. We're now going to attach the black rulers, which will then become our ribbon holders. Once again, using our E6000, we're going to place a generous amount on one side of the black ruler. And after that's complete, we're just going to flip it over and center the two little holes in between the back of the frame. We're going to do this for both sides, and then we're going to set it aside and let the glue set up. Once the glue is dry, it's now time to attach our ribbon hangers. I cut 2 lengths of ribbon, each at 54 inches. Now to attach them to the shelf, all you're going to do is kind of squeeze one of the ends small and then pull it through the hole. And after doing that on one side, you're then going to do the exact same thing on the other until you pull the ribbon tight. My ribbon had a pattern, so I made sure that the polka dots were facing upwards. You're now going to pull the ribbons tightly together, making sure that each of the ends match up. You're going to do this for both sides, so once one side was matched together, I measured 6 inches and then tied a knot at the 6-inch mark. You can actually measure a little shorter if you prefer, but I just kind of needed the room so that I could make the knot. So now you're going to have 2 knotted ends. And while you have your ribbon out, we're going to cut 2 little tabs at 1 inch each. We're now going to place the knotted end of the ribbon on the very top of the rolling pin. I just judged about 1 inch in from the edge, or you can use a ruler and mark it. We're then going to place a little dab of hot glue under the knot to hold it in place, and we're going to do this on both sides. We're going to reinforce the ribbons on the top with E6000. I ran a bead of glue on the back and the front inside of the ribbon to then attach it to the rolling pin. Once I had finished, I did let it set up for about an hour. We're now going to use the 2 little 1-inch tabs of ribbon that we cut out. All you're going to do is pinch the ribbon around the rolling pin. Then using one of the little tabs that we cut out, we're just going to hot glue it on the front of the hanger ribbon. Then just wrap it around, and before you glue the 2 back tabs together, just put a little dab of hot glue to secure the 2 ribbons to each other. You're going to do this for both sides, and now you have your shelf hangers. We're now going to make 2 little bows to hide the knots on top of the rolling pin. I'm just using a 1-inch leftover ribbon that I had from another project, and I'm cutting out 2 8-inch pieces. To make the bow, I just placed a dab of hot glue in the center, and then I folded one end in, and then I just placed another dab of hot glue and folded the other end in. I cut an approximate 2-inch piece of ribbon that matched the hanger, and then I just hot glued it around the center of the ribbon, making a cute little bow. And after you complete the first bow, you're going to need to make one additional bow. I'm going to tie one additional knot in the tails of the ribbon that sit on top of the rolling pin. You're then going to snip off the excess ribbon, then taking a little dab of hot glue and putting it on the end of the ribbon and then folding the ribbon over. And once you do one side, you're then going to do the other. Now using your hot glue gun, we're just going to attach the little bows. I put a generous amount of glue around the knot and then place the bow right on top. And once again, I did this for both sides. And now your project is complete. To hang it, all I did was place 2 screws in the wall that could support the weight of the shelf. I placed the rolling pin against the wall on top of the screws. I placed some pressure against the rolling pin and then adjusted the ribbon so that the shelf would sit straight. And now your country farmhouse hanging shelf is complete.
Thanks for hanging out with me. I always have a blast hanging out with you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, don't forget to click that little red subscribe button below. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.